everyone, to the Overwatch World Cup. This is day number 3, the last and final day of the Paris group stage. We have 2 matches done and 3 more to come. So let's take a quick look at the schedule to see where we currently at. Our first bout of the day was Germany going up against Italy, and Germany showed up strong, taking that match 3-1. Afterwards, we just had France continuing their dominance, this time against Poland, taking it clean 4-0. Later today, we're going to see Poland facing off against the Netherlands. And of course, we're also going to have the big match of the day, UK looking to take down France. It's going to be an exciting match, but the next one on hand is going to be interesting too, as the UK is still trying to keep in contention for that #1 seed for BlizzCon. UK and France both already qualified, but it's still not too late to cheer on your favorite team, so make sure to head on over to Twitter, use the hashtag OWWC2018, and you might be featured in our fan polls brought to you by T-Mobile, as we're reading them out after the games, and it's always very entertaining for us to see your thoughts on the matter at hand. Now, it is time to introduce to you the next 2 teams which will be facing off against each other on this stage. So let's give it up for Team Italy. Team Italy are looking to end their day on a high note. They managed to snatch a victory on Anubis when they faced off against Germany, and they did look strong on Lijiang as well. They're definitely hungry to get more of those W's onto their scoreboard, but it's not going to be an easy one for them, as they will have to go up against no other than one of the juggernauts of this tournament. Please, let's hear it for Team UK. Those guys have yet to actually lose a match on stage. Let's see if they can continue the dominance and secure that really, really important #1 seed for BlizzCon. All on stake for the guys for the UK, but of course, Italy still fighting for honor and glory. Let's see how many alts Dragon Eddy will be able to eat against the UK. So for all the action, without any further ado, let's head on over to our casters.
Thank you very much, Zoe. And yes, I imagine Dragon Eddy is going to be one hungry boy coming into their final series of this group stage. And Italy, mixed bag coming in throughout all 5 matches. Their 5th and final one needs to end on a high note for the Italian crowd to go home that extra bit proud.
It's not just for the Italian crowd as well, it's also for the French crowd bearing witness. You want to see the cracks in this UK armor, to see that actually when it comes to that final game of the day between the UK and France, that actually the UK maybe aren't as strong as their words are suggesting.
I mean, it's the exact opposite. UK want to be proving that they are strong going into this one, because there are no more matches before our final match for either France or UK. This is the last chance to show what they've got and set the expectations going in. An Italian win, even on a map, could start to let people know that maybe the UK isn't infallible as we thought they could be in the past.
And it's not even that the Italian team is a total rollover either. We've seen these guys have some solid performances, even if the scoreline didn't even strictly reflect that in most cases. So the UK is still going to be wary, stay on the tiptoes here and think about what's going to be coming at them, because for all intents and purposes, Italy can literally throw the kitchen sink at them here. There's no stakes on the line other than trying to bring the UK down.
Let's have a look at that Italian roster. We'll put it up on the screen for you. Of course, Carnifex, Halfbeat, Midna, Dragon Eddy, Nisa, and Bims lining up that roster.
Yeah, Midna, one of the guys that we've always recognized from contenders, but I think this weekend we've seen a few more names that you need to take note of when you think about players from Italy. Dragon Eddy, the name on everyone's list for sure, and we've even seen Heartbeat step up as well and have some fantastic plays.
Not just that, Carnifex as well has been pretty good. Let's have a look at that UK roster though. It's been very good. They've seen some flexing with their substitute KSP, but here's your usual starting lineup you expect to see. Christopher, Smex, Boombox, Cruz, Mikey A, and the notorious KYB.
The notorious KYB, and he's one of the guys I'm keeping my eye on in this series. We've seen him play some fantastic DPS play over the weekend, been one of the more consistent performers throughout all of Season 2 of Contenders as well. But we're jumping into Ilios for our first map. Sadly not going into well. It's going to be Lighthouse to start things off, which just means you might see a bit of variety. You may not see goats coming out on the first map, might see some Farah coming into play as well.
Like I said, this is all about the statement being made by the UK for the UK team. They've got that BlizzCon slot under wraps. No one can contest them for it. The only thing that's up for grabs for them, the rest of this group stage, whether it's hit the 1st seed or the 2nd seed. And we're looking long shot here, Des. Taking that 1st seed, very beneficial if you look at the competition they could face in the 1st round draw.
I mean, we may as well just say it outright. No team wants to get put into 2nd place and have to potentially come up against South Korea. They want that 1st place spot to try and dodge away from that one, maybe evade the USA as well at the same time. So for the UK, anything counts for them here as well. Going into that final series against France, not only is it a chance to make sure they are as prepped as can be for that final series, it's a chance to send a message to say we are here to take everything. 5-0 or nothing.
Put the fear into him. Christopher rolling out literally with that wrecking ball to kick things off for the United Kingdom.
This is almost the dotes we were speaking about, where you run with this triple dive tank setup rather than playing for a front line. You just go all in into the back line and throw everything you've got in a couple of members, and hopefully you manage to get a couple of kills. The nice thing here is with the environmentals around, the wrecking ball actually can play into that quite nicely.
He's come in with the power driver immediately to try and disrupt Italy, who've got that positional advantage on the point. Swinging round, he seems to have got the right angle, but can't complete the full 360 arch with the grappling hook. UK giving up the percentages. They have to move in to try and fight off Italy and make sure that they don't give over the first cap. No kills coming in, but people are going low. Bims being the first one to take out Kim, who's actually flexed onto the Winston to make this composition work, playing entirely off of roll. Italy got a positional advantage, got the man advantage, so will take that first cap. The UK, whether they commit to this one is a different story, but the Transcendence has already been used by Boobox. They want to go in. They've conceded to Midner's Shatter, and the rest of the UK struggling to get that foothold.
Not really got the capability to stand toe-to-toe with this frontline. Ultimates are being thrown in by both sides. All the support ultimates coming out from the UK. They're even throwing in the Wrecking Ball and the Winston ult as well. There are the kills they were looking for.
Kib with the double monkey fist to push them off the map, and the zone denial from the minefield coming in from Christopher. It's going to be an easy cleanup for the UK. They threw a lot of ultimates into that. It was a questionable decision to keep the fight going, but they made it work and they'll flip the point.
Imagine a world where Kib flexes onto Winston. Now, I know this guy has got a very flexible pull, but Winston wasn't really something we expected to see come out during this Paris World Cup group stage. For the UK there, it was all about hitting that critical mass of ultimates. The zone denial on the point coming out of the Wrecking Ball was so pivotal for forcing the space they needed. And you saw what happened when Kib got his ultimate online as well. Battered by the sound barrier, there was nothing to stop him.
They walked into a corridor of death there, the UK shutting down Italy. Meanwhile, I believe that's Carnifex who went onto the point to start to try and buy some time and potentially make the UK think twice, but Halfbeat is also going to jump off the map, go for a reset. UK overtaking Italy's percentage on this map.
Yeah, changing up a bit as well to match here. Italy bringing the Sombra out as a nice pick here. All that mobility on the side of the tanks of the United Kingdom. You get out a big EMP, you shut that down, you find them stuck there in hot water with no real way of escaping the damage that could come out of this composition. Although Italy have adapted slightly and brought their own dive tanks to the party too.
Is going to lock Christopher up out of that swing. Self-shot being sent to the back. They haven't got the shield, but they're able to stay alive throughout the damage. He's picking up a kill onto Bims as Christopher swings through. Taking out Nisa. Kib also going to get on the board with a double kill. Midna and Halfbeat feeling the burn of his primal rage, as Christopher will also get the D-Mecha with Dragon Eddy. And they decide to show him mercy and not stall him out too much. 65% and counting for the UK.
Very dominant. Once they were away from the point and there wasn't the environmental protection for Italy, the UK are just taking engages at their own leisure there, catching out the crucial frontline members, and really Italy still struggling to find a way to break open this defense.
Yeah, they're spawn camping Italy right now. The stealth destruct finding to get the D-Mech onto Dragon Eddy, who's getting the environmental on Halfbeat. Kib's popped the primal rage. He's locking him up underneath the wing of their own helicarrier, just for a final kill to come in from Christopher. Midna, he's being cheeky, doing what he can. Will go for the reset rather than feed any more ult charge over. 90%, one final push if Italy is lucky on this map, Des.
He puts them in a very difficult situation. But although he got the contest coming down, he's been stalled out now. They're at 99%. Italy have got to take a 5 versus 6.
Midna's coming round, switched over to the Wrecking Ball. He's going to get there a lot faster than what we would be able to. Forcing out the overtime, Transcendence is there. Nisa keeping everyone topped up. Christopher just swinging from the rafters on that Wrecking Ball. The kills going in favor of UK. As the boot, it might be an environmental, but they're able to resist that natural flow of energy coming from Cruz. They're off the point. There's going to be a couple of people just stalling it out. It's definitely in favor of the UK. The kill feed is all coming up. Blue, no one else left in the area. That's going to be UK taking round 1.
And for all we've heard about it from the team's dive goats, these teams have taken to calling it. That's the first time we've really seen the UK put it out and use it to great effect as well. After that initial kind of scrap they had around the very start of the point, when Italy managed to get there first with the 3-3, everything went their way from there onwards.
Look at that triple kill coming out. It didn't show entirely for Christopher, because I believe, for Kib, sorry, I believe Christopher swung in there and managed to knock one of them. It made it look like Kib got that triple kill. Christopher getting on the board still. Fantastic use of the environment on Ilios and using those ultimates to their full effect.
And that's why it's nice to play Dotes around this sort of setup, is that with all the environmentals in there, the displacement you have, whether it's the charge from the Diva, whether it's the Wrecking Ball swinging, or the Primal Rage coming out of the Winston alongside Boops, there's just so many things you have to be aware of. The problem is, as said, it relies quite a lot on those ultimates being online for the area denial, for Winston to really have that ability to shove multiple members away, as you saw with the double kill. Outside of that is where you'll struggle, but beyond that, it's pretty much yours for the taking. They're rolling out the gate with it once again.
Gonna use Tracer's Sombra to try and counter this Goat's composition. Already Mikey A soloing out Carnifex with the stun and Rocket Flare whip. Combination, Kib going on to Nisa. Already UK have that advantage, and they're probably going to get this first cap here as Kib is just getting more kills while he's jumping onto the back line of Italy.
Kib and Mikey A went for a full flank entirely by themselves. Left the other 4 members of the team to deal with the initial engage from Italy, while they basically went and chased down Bims to make sure he was not going to be alive, to provide that speed boost and the AoE healing that would be required for him to get onto and contest the point. Very, very solid from the UK so far. Going for a bit of a cheeky setup here as well off to the side, as you can see. They might just catch Italy unawares here.
The aggressive positioning was good from the UK. Now they're going to collapse onto Italy. Whether it pays them dividends is yet to be seen as Nisa takes Cruz out of the sky. Carnifex is there on the back line, but it's all going UK yet again. He's soloed out. He's going to use that translocator to get himself back into a safe position, but the rest of his team is already dead. A hack is really just a party gift as Italy goes for the reset.
It's been a long contested question of who you play Wrecking Ball with, whether you sub him out in place of the Winston or the Diva. Clearly, in this kind of composition, the answer is neither.
Why not all 3?
We'll take all 3. And this is one of the things that when he first got announced, everyone was like, well, we expect maybe to see him play in a dive-based comp with this. We didn't see it for a long time, but now it's finally starting to happen. You can see the effects of it as they actually completely push Italy back in towards their spawn doors.
There's just so much aggression coming out from the UK roster. Italy are unable to get anything done outside of their door. They're synchronizing perfectly with the swings from Christopher on that grapple hook to use that enhanced ability they all get from the Lucio, and just generally in their character kits to get in the faces of Italy and shut them down. They're going all over again. Self-destruct, they're keeping him out of the spawn room, and Smex is going to pick up Carnifex with the explosive. Christopher was hacked temporarily. He's on a 10-player kill streak. I don't think it's doing too much harm to him. 70%, maybe 1 or 2 more fights left for Team Italy. They need to get out of their spawn room.
They've been relying so heavily on getting some ultimates online, and they're about to hit that critical mass. If they get a big EMP off here, they can win this fight against the UK. It's these shields for Christopher that are so problematic.
He nearly went down there, but he's got so much sustain. The Transcendence from Boombox is going to keep him alive. Self-destruct up in the air. Dragon Age taking out Mikey A, so they have a little bit of flexibility with their more mobile heroes. They're pressing against the UK. Arrogance has been their hubris as they go to look to turn this back around, and a hack on the Christopher will stop him flying away. There should be another kill. The flip's coming out for Italy.
Italy in a good spot here as well with a couple of big ultimates they can make use of. The sound barrier for the defensive side of things, and they've got Carnifex with that EMP if they want to go all in. Midna, worst comes to worst, also has the Primal Rage if they want to stall out on this point with that huge health pool and the potential disruption around the well itself. That's available to them. UK, the only ult they're really looking at right now is Cruz with that sound barrier.
That's such an unfortunate thing for Christopher there. He gets stunned by Heartbeat and then immediately hacked by Carnifex. He's got nothing to do on that Wrecking Ball. If Italy lose one fight, that's it. UK will take the round and take the map. Heartbeat making sure it doesn't happen with D-Net onto Smex. Midna already popping the Primal Rage. Let's make sure they don't get onto the point. Wrecking Ball coming in. Mocked up again, I believe. The self-destruct is going up high. Carnifex will take out Christopher. Self-destruct not finding anyone as Smex going very low to get back into that mech. Dragon Age with a blue kill onto Mikey A as Midna's just spraying down the right towards the back line. Cruz not having any of it. Using the sound wave and forcing out the Transcendence for Team UK. Midna getting a lot of work done and keeping UK away from the point, but the kills are starting to flip over to the British side. They might be able to take this one back. It's not looking very good for Team Italy. They're nowhere near the point, and they need to keep this contested.
They were winning that point to begin with as well. The UK held onto their ultimates. Carnifex brings out the EMP, but immediately dropped down by Boombox. That means they get no return from this, saving that one for a little bit too long. And Nisa's getting on his Transcendence, but it's too little too late.
Just him on the point by himself. He's been knocked down by Cruz. The sound wave denying the Transcendence, and Midna goes up high to try and get over the well. They're sending in reinforcements. Heartbeat can't touch the point. It's flipped over to the UK. Overtime is ticking down. And where is the stall? Can anyone touch? It's on Dragon Eddie to buy more time for his team, but he's been booped down the well using the environmentals they did on the previous round as Carnifex is going to come in from stealth. They've taken out Bim. They still haven't got rid of the Sombra. Finding with that kill, they might be able to pull it away as a Goomba Stomp takes out Midna. Here comes Heartbeat with the Doomfish, just looking to buy as much time as possible, but it's inevitable. This will go over to the UK as the overtime finally hits 0. Team UK taking it away.
Constant big question of how many members they can keep on throwing at the point. But very, very well played by the UK in that final fight. They had the ultimates online, but were holding on to them. And I thought for the longest time, well, they'll wait until 6 are back and then they'll start popping them. Boombox brought out the Transcendence quite early. When a couple of members were still coming back from spawn, but they said to him, right, just stall, hold out for a couple more seconds, we'll be there soon, and then we can go for the engage. And you saw what happened. The EMP was just far too late from Carnifex, couldn't shut anything down, and the UK clean up nice and easy.
Also, you can see on your screen, just before you cut over to us, Kib got player of the game, playing off-roll. So clearly this composition is working for him. He jumped onto the Winston and did a lot of work on the back line, causing some disruption for Team Italy to try and get their stuff together. But strong showing from UK. Everything's going according to plan if you're looking at this from the outside. Italy, however, their map choice could provide some comfort for them to flip this over.
As we've seen for a number of teams as well, Poland, one of the teams that sprung to mind yesterday. They can take back maps back when they've got set strategies for them, when they know what they want to do. Me and you've had a good few chats about their strategy on first point Numbani, where it comes to hacking any falling supports that fall down into the alleyway. So it can give you a bit of confidence, I think. And the same will go for Italy here. They haven't been completely rolled over in every single game they've played. This is their map pick, and this is where they can go into the half one-on-one, assuming they play it properly.
We're excited to see what they pick. Hybrid map types, we typically see a lot of King's Row. That's majority pick here at the group stage. But at this particular one, a lot of Numbani and occasionally some Blizzard World if you're the Netherlands.
If you're the Netherlands. Seems to be the only team that really wants to go towards it, though, to be honest. I just want to see them find a way to shut down what the UK are throwing at them, because I don't think they expected this whole DOTE setup, as we're calling it, to come at them. All that disruption that was coming against them, even when they were playing the 3-3, they just couldn't really handle it beyond that first fight where they had the point. Outside of that, it was a constant scrap, trying to find a way to deal with it, to adapt. Nothing really worked. They never really got the big crucial EMP they were looking for across both rounds to shut down the mobility. But you're absolutely right, Trid. It's King's Row we're going into for this first one. Expect to see a lot more tank-based play, but given what the UK just rolled and threw at us, it could be anything.
Hang on a second. Italy's map choice, but you're picking the UK's home turf? I don't know if that's the wisest decision. These guys were born and bred on the streets of London. And if you go to any UK land, I can tell you that the most played map is, of course, King's Row.
Although I can tell you that London really doesn't look like this that much anymore. There's no kind of big futuristic
Don't tell them that. Don't tell them that. We want the tourist money to come into our economy. You tell them London looks like that sprawling metropolis in the background, not the sometimes danky streets, but there is a little bit of historical culture on the streets of London, so maybe that's keen for some tourists. But London looks exactly like this. Don't worry about it. Come to London. In
all seriousness, though, in the UK, a lot of things that get played at LANs is things like control maps and King's Row. They're probably the two favourite maps we see teams pick out. So you're right in saying it's not just by name, it's also by nature. For most of these players, when they first started playing Overwatch since release, King's Row would have been their home turf. So expect them to have a lot of familiarity on it.
That familiarity could translate into success, but it was one of the earliest maps in Overwatch, so Italy have got plenty of playtime on this particular map. And they're on defense first. So we're going to see what they're rolling a little bit sooner. Last minute change, and Bim's going to taxi Dragon Eddie back to the point. There's looking like they're running with a pretty standard GOATS composition.
Double sniper coming out of the UK seems to be the current thinking. I imagine Kiv's going to change over to support again shortly. For Italy, the key thing for here, we spoke about this I think yesterday, and the guys mentioned it on cast earlier on today as well. Dragon Eddie had 2 grab eats on Route 66. If he can get some big eats against the UK, or even block out a number of these supports, the ults coming out of like the Hanzo or out of Kim on this Zarya, that could be their key or their ticket to winning this first point and potentially taking the whole map.
And a quick scout of what's going on. They're going to run with GOATS of their own after keeping that double sniper, so it's just an initial play, see what's going on, get the kind of the air of what's happening on King's Row before they translate into their regular composition.
It's quite tough with GOATS because the attacking team will always want to have the advantage of being able to push in and make things go to their pace. In the UK's case, you think you're a better GOATS team than Italy. Italy are forced to play GOATS because it can adapt to most situations quite well unless there's a fire on the mix. But for the UK, they're like, we can mirror this and we can win these fights. As you can see already, Mikey bringing down Binder, that's the whole shield gone.
If you've seen a lot of GOATS, you know as soon as the Reinhardt goes down, the competition is pretty much over. Mikey getting that kill means that the UK are now on the point. They're able to get that full cap and begin the payload escort section of King's Row.
It's very tough on maps like this, where as a defender on the first point, you're forced to roll out with a comp, and the attackers can say, well, let's get a bit of a scout out, see what they're rolling with, and then pick something that we know we can beat it with. And literally in one push, with 1 kill, the UK killed just the main tank alone, and Italy are forced to back away because they do not want to feed more ult charge to this comp. Not that it matters, because they're already all about to hit their ultimates anyway.
A lot of ult charge being fed into a team can create a snowball scenario. We obviously don't want that. It's going to push through this choke. Being very tanky, they want to play around the angles, keep it tight, and force the UK back, potentially look for a spawn camp. There's Graviton Surge available from Kip. Heartbeat's been nanoed, maybe just a little bit too early, because there's not much to get from it. Because if Italy can play around the terrain, so can the UK in this scenario. They're just going to play off, wait for it to expire, move forward. Christopher on that front line, pushing forward against them.
Nisa wasting the nano boost a bit there, really. There was no big fight going on. It was just meant to be a kind of half engage, I think, that never really came to be. Now the UK can push back in. A huge shadow comes down and catches out 4.
Multiple members on the back line are sitting on their bums as Min's going to charge through onto Boombox and deny a Transcendence. That could be big for Italy. They can capitalize, but the self-destruct and the charge comes through. Christopher doing the work for the UK. Should seal the deal here and keep that payload in motion.
It's one thing we're seeing teams start to do very, very well on the defensive side when they get caught in this kind of combo where you have the Graviton Surge and the self-destruct coming through, is they save the Zarya bubbles until that self-destruct is about to go off. It does keep most of the members alive, but more often than not, most teams will still lose out on their main tank, and as you saw there, the Brigitte followed through as well. In a 4 versus 6, chances are you're still going to lose that fight.
They're going to swap over Mikey A and Cruz onto the point. Cruz going to be on the back, making sure he can push that forward. As the UK were looking to support aggression. Smex playing in that high ground rafter, very forward against him. He's been spotted out by Italy. They know where he is. They're going to send Dragon Eddie up there to try and deal with him. Christopher got that Earth Shatter, but there's a lot of aggression. Stunned up, locked up, and Nisa's going to take him out. This Graviton Surge from Heartbeat. They're moving in with a self-destruct as well with no shield. Dragon Eddie surely gets a kill. It's going to be Kib biting the dust as the rest of Italy funnels through the UK and pushes them off the payload, finally stopping their unstoppable force.
That's the kind of initiation I wanted to see from Italy. Reinhardt going forward with the Brigitte, getting the stun down onto the tank and making sure that Chris died sharpish. Admittedly, for the rest of the UK, they were struggling to keep the heals going on to Chris because they were too busy playing back behind the corner in case the grab did come through. So although they were forced back and they lost the main tank, it did force Italy to burn a few ultimates. The UK can now push back in, at least with their Shatter, and they're not too far away from having that rally and the Graviton Surge online.
Big combos coming up for the UK. They might not need to use them depending on how well they play this fight. They're sending Chris forward, going very low as you'd expect. The Orb Discord and Harmony both on that main tank to show how much important this is. Stun into an Earth Shatter. Should be able to clean them up, but the sound barrier comes out, countered by a Transcendence from Team Italy. But this UK on the back foot. They're just acceding to the aggression of Team Italy. But this UK flipping it around, they want them exactly where they are so they can get the damage out, kill them from the terrain, and make sure they push this payload to the next checkpoint.
Yeah, Italy were kind of stretched in there. Minna got a charge through, trying to push some of the members of the UK back, but instead found himself in a 1 versus 6 in the back line. And yes, they had the Transcendence to back him up as well, but burning that just to try and keep a tank alive who's in the very, very far back. Maybe not the best use of it there, so a bit over-aggressive from Italy. The previous fight was great for them. This one, maybe a little bit too much, and the UK capitalise on those mistakes.
Still holding on to Christopher's Shatter. They've got themselves the rally pop by Carnifex to top up the armor before they go into this engagement. Stun Shatter combo, perfect from Team UK. Gonna have a sound barrier come out to stop the flow of casualties after Minna has been dropped. Self-destruct over the top. There's the Transcendence and a nice bit of shielding to keep them alive. Now they're gonna throw their own Graviton Surge into the mix. They don't need no bomb. They can do it by putting manual targeting to the test. Mikey A gonna move that payload further and further to victory.
And this is the kind of thing that's going to really differentiate whether or not France or UK win their series later, will be how they handle these Graviton Surge combos. The UK there, using the shields from Mikey A, they had the Transcendence from the Exposed then as well to make sure he lived. Not a single member went down in that whole combo.
Holding the terrain, holding the corner, that's what you expect. We've seen plenty of it so far on this map. Christopher nearly got that Earth Shadow again, just needs himself, Mikey A, to come in, get that stun onto Midna, and it opens up Italy to a huge, fatty Shatty. Gonna throw it down. He's gonna kill Midna with the damage alone, forcing out a trans from Nisa to keep the rest of the team alive. Self-destruct from Smex. Gonna take out Heartbeat as Bims moves onto the payload, but he's still got Dragon Eddie on the high ground. He needs to go down. Now he's dislodged, sending the self-destruct up high. The team is split, but they can still shield away from it. Kib will kill the Exposed Diva, and the UK complete King's Row.
About a minute and a half to 2 minutes in the time bank there as well. Not the quickest push that we've seen, but still a convincing one that got them all the way to the end. Now Italy, it's their time to shine and show us what else they've got. 2 minutes 36, I was a minute completely off from that one. Pretty healthy then, can't complain.
Pretty healthy, solid resistance from Italy, especially in the streets phase. They caught Christopher off guard with a nice stun and burst damage combination and enabled them to push the UK back. And I think that was the only solid resistance we saw, where they actually effectively wiped Team UK or forced a full reset. Other than that, they're pushing into Team UK, and they may take a casualty, but they're able to play around that fact and almost coax Italy into a full sense of security, and then slam the trap on them, get a couple of kills, and go straight back to that payload.
The thing is, Italy know as well that UK is playing very confidently the way they're pushing forward and being very aggressive. They punished that one just short of the second point, where they managed to catch Chris completely alone from his healers, drop him down before any healing could come through, and from there got the Graviton Surge down, got the full combo in, and they wiped Team UK out with probably the most decisive fight we've seen them pull out so far. The problem now is we need to see that become consistent. You can't afford to do that once per map. It needs to be something you're doing 2, 3, maybe 4 times over when it comes to fights around these points, if you want to deny the UK getting these kind of full pushes through.
UK is not flawless. We can spot a couple of mistakes they're making. It's just that was the only one Italy seemed to capitalize on. If they can up that rate, definitely they can start taking more of this map to them. Symmetra coming out for Smex. Don't think he's going to stay on that one. Plenty of time for him to go and change. Yeah, I think he's running back to the spawn room now. He's going to have his teammate Cruz taxi him back to the point.
That's interesting. So what they've done there actually is teleport him across without any way of the enemy team Italy seeing him move through into Hotel. His plan here, I imagine, is to get a charge straight through. This is the kind of thing that you're seeing competitive play, where you go for a charge from Hotel through as they push in, try and pick out the Ryan, and then suddenly the whole attack is shut down for another 20 seconds or so. Genius sort of setup. Now to see if it works and pays off.
I love having you here, Des, because I completely missed that's what they did. I just thought they were just trolling with Symmetra. But no, they have a plan, they have a strategy.
They're watching, they might know.
They look around, they don't think they saw him. Now they spotted him out, he's going in, he's going to get stunned. Christopher used that protective barrier to keep him alive. They want to try and separate him away from Team UK, but he still manages to get behind the gate, and UK come out storming. They're providing reinforcements, they're not going to leave a man behind as they bring Christopher safely back into the fold.
Ideal situation there would have been Eddie immediately charging to the 5 supportive members of United Kingdom running towards him. Chris should have been hard punished there as soon as he got spotted and charged down by the Brigitte, but was instead, as you say, able to get back into his team. And now the game just resumes as normal.
They're just holding the choke. It's the perfect whip for a Reinhardt barrier. You may as well if you're going to go for the tank-heavy composition. Will it force a change-up from Italy, or the United Kingdom eventually lose the steam to maintain?
And already the ult's coming online for some of the supports. Boombot's got that coalescence, and on the other side you've got Nisa with the Transcendence. Out it comes.
Huge shatter. Answer from the Transcendence. Heartbeat charged against the wall, but a protective barrier stops the final blow from coming in. The rally up is there, and they're moving back. Team UK topping up all their resistances. They're going for the next fight. Carnifex about to get his own rally. Graviton Surge, bit of a swing and a miss for Team UK. Italy should read that and go, right, now's our time to get in and fight. Mid, they're locked up. The protective barrier keeps him alive. Sound barrier for the rest of them. There's their own Graviton Surge. No kills coming through for the time being, but Christopher goes down low for Heartbeat to kill, and the rest of Team Italy are now taking it to Team UK.
Still trying to roll forward. Doesn't matter what the United Kingdom are throwing at this one. Italy have dismantled the United Kingdom and taken this first point in a minute and a half. You would not complain with that if you knew this was the kind of push they would get on the first point, Tris.
Now they're keeping them away from the payload. They don't want them to contest it. The UK definitely doesn't want to lose control right now. 4 minutes 45 on the clock. And Italy are going to start the escort section as they're taking the fight still to UK. Self-destruct on the back line. Heartbeat mistiming that bomb. And this time the barrier mid, they're going to answer the call onto Christopher. He's going incredibly low, but the healing is there from Carnifex and fellow support. Still on critical. Transcendence pushing through the gate. They want to breach into the UK and make sure they have zero chance of staying alive in this fight. As Carnifex picks up another kill onto Mikey A, and they've created themselves a nice path. If only Smex wasn't playing spoiler.
Playing spoiler on the point, just trying to waste a bit of time here as well, make it even harder for them to push further forward. The rest of the team, though, they pulled all the way back. They're going to wait for him to come back up before they go for the contest. It does mean that first choke under the archway is now out of the way. Next one's probably going to come between those two buildings on the right-hand side of your screen.
UK going to regroup. They've got plenty of time to play with, like I said, the 2-minute 36 time back on the other side. It's going to be big for them.
The sneaky Kib is the deadliest. The notorious KYB with the Grav Surge online. Now, the real question is just how hungry is Dragon Eddie?
Well, if Dragon Eddie's not in the restaurant, how is he going to chow down? He was leaving the team a little bit, and they now know where he is. He's trying to bait it out with the right click to make sure Dragon Eddie uses the defense matrix early, because the animation is very similar. He's going to hold on to it, put it onto the drain. No way to eat that as they're pulled in. They just find Hearthstone, get Minder against the wall. The rest of the team able to separate. So not too many casualties coming in, but Heartbeat, of course, will drop as they force on the Team Italy. Stunned up Minder, no shield for you, Team UK, pushing Italy back into the spawn area.
I know full well chat caught out what you said there. He may be called Heartbeat, but Hearthstone also feels pretty apt. He was the only one who got caught, but he kept hold of his ult. That is retained for Italy. They can use this in their next engage. Biggest problem here, though, is they might just find themselves getting spawn camped in. We've seen a number of teams do this where it's so hard to get out because the exit gateways are so small. But Italy have sped completely past them now. They've still got the Zed trapped in spawn, though. So this is a 5 versus 6.
Oh, no. The UK are completely wrapped around them, but they're trapped by Graviton Surge. Heartbeat doing the work, but Snex with the camera kill onto Nisa. And they're going to push Italy further back, but they're taking the payload with them. UK don't want to be in this position. They can't contest it. They're losing so much ground. They need to get these kills faster and make sure they push it back. Mikey A going to be the man to do it.
Nisa was literally left in spawn the whole time. He was like, guys, if I step out here, I'm going to die. Like, good luck. You are literally 5 versus 6 in all of this. And it does mean the members will get staggered out. They'll get pushed back. If Dragon Eddie dies here and gets demexed and slowly killed out, that can be crucial to UK slowing this down even more. There's 2.5 minutes left on the clock. Italy is still ready to go with their ultimates, only now they're without the Graviton Surge.
He did manage to get away, Dragon Eddie. Still escaping. Sneak Fever, Midna, with that Earth Shatter. Graviton Surge going to pull him together. Might not want to go for the counter as the self-destruct comes behind. Shielding is there to protect Italy. They're getting very good at protecting this, but Midna with the Flame Strike out of nowhere, taking out Mikey A. He's got Nerve Shadow to go, goes to the side, multiple members knocked down, they want to push forward. Shielding is there, but Dragon Elite still finds Cruz as Midler looking to the side. Christopher escapes with a charge of his own. Italy coming up with an advantage here. That might be enough to get checkpoint B.
Yeah, Chris stepping up to the wrong side there. All members of his team were off to the left. He stepped to the right. And well, if you're in Minder's shoes and you have an Earth Shatter, it's an A or B scenario. Where do you go? I'll go towards the side without the shield and 4 exposed members. Thank you very much. Expect maybe trying to play spoiler a little bit there, but still, Italy find themselves on the 3rd point, 30 seconds behind the UK's current time bank, and they've got a couple of big ultimates coming online. They've got that Graviton Surge with the self-destruct to potentially upset the UK and even out the time banks.
Harpy looking to get that charge built up. Like I said, Des very close for that Graviton Surge. Kib not too far behind him though, he's about 10% away. Harpy is about to get it online right now, so will they pull the trigger early, assuming they know how the state of play with the ultimates is. Trying to look for the right opportunity, plays it on the corner. Pulls the UK together, self-destruct up high, everyone has to hide behind the shield, still managing to find Christopher. He couldn't react to it well enough, so without a Reinhardt, it opened up so much space for Team Italy to push forward.
I think they were hoping to get the self-destruct off the high ground there onto the low, but it was more than enough to catch Chris once he got charged off to the side by Midna. Italy the one still in control here, but the UK going to the other gate. They're not prepared for this right now, so they might catch them off guard.
They're trying to move through as fast as they can. Mikey A's going to pop the rally, make sure everyone's alive. Christopher's knocked off the edge by Khan effect. He's having a bad day today because this Brigitte is taking it to him. Transcendence being used. He's counteracting the Graviton Surge. Rally from Mikey A. Even everyone topped up this cruise. Soundwave kill onto Bim. Self-destruct available there for them. The shield is good. They're trying to push Midna off the edge of the map. Throws down the Earth Shadow. I don't think anyone got caught off by that. Nice boot from Cruz. Going to set Heartbeat flying. And they're going to move back against them. They've still got plenty of time to take this to the checkpoint, but I don't think they're going to get it in this push.
By the looks of it, no, it looks like the UK will stop them there, but there's still 1 minute 40 to play with. 100 seconds to try and complete. Both sides currently depleted of ultimates, a few coming back online. But that's a good few victims now, Trid, who have fell to the environmental kills thanks to Boops and, of course, the rocket flails coming out of the Brigittes.
Got to use 100% of your kit, and if that option's available to you, you've got to take it then.
100.
Just got to.
Hoping to try and get themselves on the push on the go here. Chris not too far away from his own shadow this time round, only 6% to go. More a case of trying to play those mind games with the shields, relying a lot on your Brigittes to get the stuns down onto the front line for either side. Italy, though, they're about to hit 5 ultimates online. The UK still have not.
Interesting time to stun there. Graviton Surge going to pull them together. Self-destruct goes over the top. A lot of low members on Team UK. Dragon Eddie finds the double onto Christopher and Cruz, pushing this down onto the home stretch. There's no one from the UK to pass any resistance. The time back is whittling down, but they have spawn advantage. They're stalling out, using the Transcendence, buying time for the fast respawns and change to come through for Team UK. Huge shadow from Midna, denying the reinforcements as quickly as they can, but UK still find a way to get back onto the point. Shadow of their own, asked by Transcendence. Midna, you're off the side of the map, my friend. What are you doing? As Mikey A guarantees he's falling to his death, and UK still find a way to put a resistance out.
That kill on Sabinda was the big one in this one now because they can't afford to stand and go toe-to-toe with the UK shield lineup. It was a beautiful boot. Even with the Transcendence live, that will not save you from an environmental kill. And the UK hold on once again. There is 15 seconds left. Italy, this is all or nothing now to push it to try and equalize this map out, but it's a tall order, Trid.
10 seconds. They've got a grab surge. Midna going to find a sneaky path with the Wrecking, but wants to knock through them. The Graviton Surge not going to hold it unless Kib finds a creative angle. Needs to be very clever about what he does with this one. Dragon Eddie pushing forward with the defense matrix. They know as they're taking it to the UK. They're pulling them all together. This could be big for Team Italy. They're all not able to touch the point. They need a couple of seconds. The huge
They've done it!
Italy managed to capture it with creative use of their abilities.
As soon as that grab surge went down, you know they were saying to themselves, checkmate UK, we've got you cornered here. There is no way you touch this point. The wrecking ball was just a bait. They didn't even need to use it. It was all about the grab surge, catching the members out and forcing them all into a corner. Beautiful play from Italy to clutch it in the dying seconds. The problem they now face is that UK get their turn at attacking, and there is 2 minutes 36 on that clock.
To get 33% of the point, there's Italy had to do it in overtime, so still a big win for the UK here. It looks very likely they'll be able to take this away with a second attempt, but Italy not ready to roll over yet, forcing out that final bit of effort from the UK. They want to take them to their limit, maybe tire them out for this French crowd, so when it comes to that final game of the day, they're already at peak stress levels.
And it's like we were saying at the very start of the series, for teams like Italy and other teams we've seen over the weekend, such as Poland, for example, a lot of it comes down to just surprising these teams that, on paper, will probably take the series away quite convincingly. If you can surprise them, you can still manage to upset them, take maps away from them, maybe get further in a map than maybe the enemy team expected you to do so in the first place. The only problem they're doing here is, like I said earlier on, rolling out with a 3-3. The UK will know fully what to expect, and in that mirror matchup, they'll be incredibly confident.
I think the UK does win the mirror matchup when it comes to GOATs in this scenario, especially against Italy. His creativity, if you can pull it out, might be your answer to take some maps off the UK, but they're going to run GOATs into GOATs. Kick things off, I think Boombox just having a scout with the Widowmaker will change off of that. Probably what he'll do is hand it to Zenyatta, keep the flow going.
Pushing their way in. As you said, the mirror match probably does favour the UK, but again, it's a catch-22 for Italy as well, where you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. You don't take it, you get a direct counter to your comp, and 3-3. Generally a pretty good all-rounder. You play as a cohesive unit and stay together. Make sure that no one gets picked up on their own as a Widowmaker, for example. You've got to try and face up against the UK, who so far on this map have looked like the stronger GOATs team. They're
pushing into the UK. Specs have to move, not be able to get some damage resistance from the defensive matrix out. He's pushing back behind his team. They're playing a lot around Mondata at the moment, looking for an edge in this fight.
Still trying to find a big opening here for either side. It's all whoever makes the first mistake. When does a barrier get used at the wrong time? When is Brigitte stunned down on cooldown? They almost catch Minder there, but the counter comes through. Beautiful from Italy to cushion that and immediately respond with a quick kill onto Christopher.
They can protect their own Reinhardt, and then they turn it back around on the UK, forcing them out and looking for a reset. Except UK, they want to trade here, but if you're not taking someone with you and utilizing your spawn advantage, you're missing out here and you're not going to get anything done.
Now the ultimates are all starting to come online for both sides. This is where the dynamic of 3-3 changes to who can get the bigger utility combo off. First thing being launched is Nisa with the Coalescence, but there's plenty more to come in this fight.
Harpy's already taken out Mikey Ace, they're missing their Brigitte, they can't get the stun, so they're going to have to do the shatter without the assistance of a Brigitte, which is very hard. Harpy also sitting on that Graviton Surge for the next fight.
The UK are in a great spot here, though, where they know that they had 2.5 minutes to play with. That is plenty of time to get all of your ultimates online, and this is what you play for. You play for that critical mass. And for Italy, the problem they are facing is they're running the Moira, they're not running the Zen. That Transcendence could have been the big saver for them, and the UK have that in spades with Boombox with the Transcendence online. Christopher's about to get his Earth Shatter. This should be the big push we're looking for.
6v6 on the Automates. What's going to happen? Heartbeat stunned up. There's a Shatter coming out from mid. He's going to put it into the middle of him. Will find him. Christopher with a counter Shatter. Here comes the self-destruct. Not going to find anyone. Transcendence coming in.
Counter.
They're swinging the hammer. The rally is there from Carnifex to keep everyone topped up, but the kills are going in favor of the UK. Christopher taking out Minder. Mikey A following up on the Carnifex, and Kim taking out Heartbeat. That's going to be the UK going into the half. 2-0 up.
Very, very difficult to stop a 6-stack ultimate combo from any team. It doesn't matter who it might be. 6 ultimates, they're called ultimate for a reason. When you put them together, they have grand impact.
UK not looking too happy with that result. I don't think they wanted to be taken to another attempt on King's Row. We've seen a lot in the previous days. Very smiley, happy faces when they're getting the results they want. I think they're not happy with that result for the time being, but still 2 more maps to play, Des.
It's a good opportunity as well, a learning experience that they need to adapt to these surprises that they're seeing coming in. And I don't think they can be super disappointed with that. They've played it as they should have done, especially when it came to the overtime push with those 6 ultimates. But Italy is showing that, you know, you can still almost take maps away from these big teams. And
very close to doing so themselves. Like I said, got it down into those final minute of time, burning through the UK's time bank, or at least the majority of it. So they are capable. They just need that little extra to push over the edge.
Just a little bit more. And I think, again, even though that was their map pick as well, it's a map that the UK were familiar with. So maybe when it comes onto the 3rd map, they've got another surprise waiting in store. Again, we've seen teams pull out surprises on maps that teams just aren't ready for. That's what they keep on playing for, because things like that final push for them on the 3rd point, with the Graviton Surge to lock them in place, that's what they needed to cleanse out the 3rd point. If they can do that 2 or 3 times a map, suddenly you find yourself in a situation where, wow, we've completed a map and we've managed to hold the other team back. That's a win on our side, your confidence grows. It's unlikely it's going to go to a 5th map in this case, where Italy win the next 2. But crazier things have happened in Overwatch. That's the beauty of this esport.
Okay, well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to look at what map number 3 is, so don't go anywhere.
The Overwatch World Cup is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's fastest network ever. And by Omen by HP, the official PC of the Overwatch World Cup.
Can we go? I'm starving.
Yeah, almost. Just need to adjust a few more things.
Are you serious?
As serious as safety. So yeah, very serious. You good?
Yeah, very good. And ready to get some food.
Almost got it all just right. 10 and 2. Well, now I gotta start all over again.
Oh, come on!
Stay one step ahead in the Toyota CHR. Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome back to the Overwatch World Cup Paris group stage. We're in our final day and we're starting to wrap up the matches that are left to play on this stage. We've got the UK versus Italy. UK currently leading 2-0 against the Italian side. And there's 2 more maps, minimum, to play.
Absolutely, and this is the time where Italy have got to start bucking their ideas up and again surprising the UK. That's what led us to go into the overtime, what led to those glum faces that we saw on the UK players when we had the camera shot of them. Going into the next map, going to be an assault map. Time to change some things up, and we've seen teams historically over the weekend cap that first point and then use the ultimates gathered from the first fight to snowball the second immediately. A little bit harder to do on some of the maps, but who knows, we'll see which pick that is when it comes out.
Yep, we're going to find out the pick very shortly, but of course it is going to be Italy's choice again. They were the loser of the previous round, so they do get their map pick, and not going to lie to you, I'm going to start showing my UK bias here. The UK haven't had a lot of practice picking maps so far. I think they've only dropped one, and that was to the Netherlands. Or was it Germany? One of the two.
It was on the first day, it was against Germany.
Okay, well, let's have a look. There's going to be a substitution on the side of the UK. I know what that means. It's going to mean KSP coming in. Usually, who does it usually replace?
The Widow Wonder Kid subbing in for Mikey A in this case. Now, KSP in his first map, I still remember it very distinctly on Volskaya, wasn't super hot. Went to the fourth map and he had a sublime showing, and I'm curious to see if he's warmed up more over the weekend. There's always been a lot of talk about this guy in Europe, about being a sniper wonderkid. And let's not forget, just 4 months ago, this guy was playing in Open Division. He's stepped his way up through Open Division to Trials, into Contenders, and now finds himself on the World Cup stage. And he wants to finish that 5th step and go to the Overwatch League.
Well, he's been on the world stage, and the world stage is going to stop over at the Temple of Anubis for our Assault map. And I kind of agree with your sentiments there. I think KSP did have a little bit of difficulty on his first round. But you got to remember, this guy doesn't have a ton of LAN experience in comparison to the rest of this UK roster.
I love how anytime you speak to him and you ask him a question, you get like one-word responses. And I said to him, I actually gave him a very elaborate question of, you know, this has been a huge step for you, coming from Open Division all the way to the World Cup, playing on a stage in front of thousands. How do you feel about that? And he was like, good. That's all he said. And I was like, okay, can't really note that down.
Sound.
But to his credit, it's the one response I can remember by memory because it was literally that short.
Yeah, you were going to remember one word.
Yeah, exactly. He makes it nice and easy for us. What can I say?
I mean, it makes note-taking very easy.
It does.
Just like one word. Cool. But no, KSP, he is one of the guys who is going to have a very bright future in European Overwatch. Let's give him a couple more seasons of Contenders, a couple of World Cups maybe, if it swings around next year. He could be a superstar on the Overwatch scene.
Christopher on the Orisa needs a bit of hand to get up on that high ground, using the Symmetra just to make that happen. Immediately go back, and back out they will fly. Kid bringing out the Junkrat this time around, so nothing too out of the ordinary, quite a standard setup coming through on Anubis Burst. And this is why I love this point so much, is that it does force things to change. You can't really run 3-3 on there. You see a lot of dive play coming through. There's always Widow duels thanks to the long sight lines. And again, I always hark back to it. We remember Soon's 4-minute wonder class on Widowmaker just a couple of days ago.
Don't tell the French crowd you just said the word soon. No. They're going to erupt, and we're going to hear it down here in the Blizzard basement.
Well, what can I say? It was a meme you brought out yesterday, wasn't it? Soon Breeze and the whole crowd.
Yeah, they
goes,
do.
Soon.
It's incredible. Something else that's incredible, UK's performance and chances at BlizzCon, because it is incredible that they can literally lose this map. They can throw this map and still make it a BlizzCon.
You know, Italy, they aren't quite in the mood to make their ride that easy. Full dive coming through from Italy. Nice little 360 spin there as well to dodge the headshot from KSP. Italy haven't lost a member yet, but that mech has just been lost, so maybe now they're going to have to go back and reset.
It's so difficult to play this composition. I was actually speaking to Jake about this. If you make one mistake in a dive composition into this kind of setup, you are just going to have to lose and reset. Everyone needs to play absolutely perfectly to make it work. Heartbeat. Being a sneaky beaver, but he's caught up by the poison grenade, so KSP had his number from the get-go.
That's the beauty of the poison grenade as well, is it basically serves as a warning indicator when someone is trying to get the flank on you. Well, speaking of the whole Junkrat setup here for Kib as well, we were sat with Jake watching the last series, and as soon as he saw the trap man get put inside the door to the left in the fabled microwave room, as we call it, he was like, yes, that's my trap, I use this all the time, and it worked wonders for them then. Kib not really going for it just now, being much more happy, sitting back to the side and making sure that right-hand room stays safe.
But he still managed to get that mine kill onto Midna, so stalling out Italy even further. 1 minute down so far, 3 to go for Team UK if they want to get the full hold in action.
A nice slow start as well, but then again, no big rush. Italy just wanted to make sure they get this right rather than just almost trying to throw toilet paper at the wall and hoping it sticks. They don't want that to be the case. They want to make it work first time. They've made it work with Carnifex picking up Kib, and he had the tire online. That's the big one, Trip.
And Italy need to keep up the pressure so Cruz can't go in for the resurrection, which is he's doing right now. They let go of the pressure, and now they brought Kib back, completely rectifying that moment of brilliance from Carnifex.
Yeah, they lost Heartbeat as well, so without the real full dive potential coming in from the Tracer, Winston, and the Genji combo, you want to go back and just wait until you've got those 3 members up. But like you say, it does give the UK the time to reset and get Kib back online, and now he's got that tire with the Infrasight up. That's going to be stalled out for even longer.
Tire Infrasight is lethal. There is nowhere to hide when that tire comes about, and you completely cut out the guesswork of the scouting. You can just go straight. They're going to dive onto the back line. Actually, no, they're going to play it a little bit safer. Carnifex pops out, immediately gets a hello, goodbye kiss from KSP. Smex taking out Nisa. KSP repositions. He has the grapple hook, and wow, looked like Midna overplayed his hand by jumping in. It's an easy cleanup for Team UK, because Italy has already lost too many members. And a final shot from KSP takes out Bims.
Little shake of the camera from KSP. He knows he's still kind of warming up here. Just gives himself a bit of a shake, saying, come on, wake up now. It's time to start getting some headshots. Did miss a few crucial ones in there that really would have set that point down for his team, but alas, this is why Overwatch is a team game. You're all in this one together, and collectively they clear Italy out and send them packing once again. But Italy are going for the same setup that we saw the UK employ on their overtime push on King's Row. They're going for that critical mass of 6 ultras before they go for it. Problem is UK have got their own, they're bringing them out now.
Dropping the supercharger down very early for the UK because they sensed it coming in. Smex has already cleaned out Midna. KSP's got the high ground. They're playing very consciously of this Widowmaker, but it's not even KSP doing the work. work in terms of kills. It's Christopher. He's getting on the board with that extra damage boost, and finally, the bongo drum will expire. Thankfully, we still have bongo cap.
Yeah, some good patience being shown by the UK as well, not deploying all of their ultimates in a panic. They did bring out 3 or 4 in that fight, mind you, whereas Italy only deployed 2, one of them being the highly rechargeable pulse bomb. I mean, at least it is highly rechargeable when you're not being killed by KSP every 2 seconds.
Got to stay alive to charge. You can't get that ult charge as fast if you are dead, and KSP really sending it to Carnifex. I think that's about the 3rd time he's got that pick-off in that particular matchup. 30 seconds remaining for Italy. A lot of ultimates on the board. They're going to have to do it in this push, Des.
Got to make it work now. Minna getting pretty good at spinning away from KSP as well, making sure he doesn't get picked off, but he's rooted down and brought down by the trap.
Here comes the Kip tire. Pull the cord, all aboard. We're going for a ride, and it might be the end of Italy's run if he can just decide what to do. Bim's going to be the target as he gets blown up. 13 seconds remaining. UK in a very solid position to make this full hold complete.
Looks like that's the way it's going as well. Great full hold from the United Kingdom with 5 seconds remaining. Italy will throw things at the point, but finally Heartbeat brings out the blaze.
Midna was able to touch the point as well. There's a Transcendence to cancel out Heartbeat's ultimate. KSP going to cancel that out with a bullet to his skull. Midna drops down on the wrecking ball, booped off the point, shot off the point. That is a full hold for Team UK.
I imagine AKM somewhere, she's sitting there nodding in approval at Heartbeat, saying, I approve, my son. That blade took you a long time to bring online. I think it was a good solid 2.5, 3 minutes before that blade even came up, and when he does bring it out, half the team are dead. So that dive never really had time to collectively push together. They expended a couple of pulse bombs, the sound barrier maybe at the wrong time. Didn't really go for the big collective push that dive is famed for. Admittedly, though, the UK had a fantastic dive set up as soon as Minda went in, landed onto the trap from the Junkrat, and well, we know what happens next. He got exploded very quickly.
You know, you're so close that your bubble shield can't protect you anymore. You have Christopher in your face with an LMG on Orisa. At that range, it's going to shred through you. It doesn't matter who you are.
So now it's down to the UK, and sadly for Italy, they had a very, very good second point defense with the double projectile set up earlier on today. There is no second point defense coming on this map for them. 33.3% is all the UK require to guarantee this series win and take away Anubis.
They've already guaranteed the series win, Des. Because the best that Italy can do here is full hold them, and it's a draw.
True.
There'll still be 2 in the lead. They can only then win 1 map.
But my version sounds far cooler.
It does, but I kind of like taking the wind out of your sails whenever I can.
I know, mate, I know. It seems to just be a staple of our relationship. You take things away from me when I want them.
Yeah, I mean, you do deserve it most of the time.
That's not true.
Yeah, it is.
Why is it?
Because you don't pay attention to this wonderful game of Overwatch.
You mean like you're not doing right now because you're too busy trying to talk me down?
Yeah, I'll talk you down, but I'll be the bigger man here, and I'll start talking about the game itself. Looking at what Italy's calling out, they're going for a similar setup to what the UK has. I think they're relying on the perfect strategy.
Not even just similar, exactly the same setup. I imagine we'll see most of them playing in the same sort of side as well. The Widowmaker, always very, very potent on this first point because you have 2 high grounds, and as soon as a dive comp tries to go for one side, well, you're immediately zipping over to the other, and if someone is there, you've always got the back to be able to fall to as well. So a lot of the coordination comes from the dive on the side of the United Kingdom here to be able to shut Carnifex down, but they're playing on the high ground, or were. They backed away because the Orisa shield missed.
Oh, they missed the shield, so they have to concede that high ground position. Midna, maybe going to custom games, work that one out a little bit more for Contender Season 3. But the UK, they're going to push forward. Christopher, very low already. He must have been tagged on his way up.
Yeah, Carnifex, he's lurking and waiting with that sniper rifle just to try and bring him down some more. Gets a little tag there, but no real kills coming through. It's going to be the same story for the UK here, trying to get those key ultimates online and trying to pick off crucial members. I'm looking mainly towards the Mercy on Bim. See if you get that down, that res is out the way. There's no damage to him coming through, and Chris almost gets caught out by the trap, but just a little bit too far back.
He managed to land on there and miss the trap. Perfect positioning. I don't know whether it was a coincidence or not, but he adds a little bit of pressure to Italy, but won't get much more than that. But he's bought enough time for UK to wrap around to the side. They've all taken the high ground away. Carnifex comes in with the quick scope pop onto Christopher. He's going low himself. He's got a Genji in his face. Here comes Diva to back up, 55 HP. Can't bring to the kill as Cruz could have been Chris back up. But KSP is on clean up. He takes Lisa out. Smex being D-Mexed by Dragon. Eddie KSP's going to dance around. Kibbs being ignored at the moment by Halfbeat as mid there. Finishing off Smex. Christopher getting a kill onto Bim. So this is definitely back and forth, but it's starting to go in favor of the UK. Carnifex, Halfbeat, they've been removed. No more DPS for Team Italy. Now UK just has to shred through the tanks.
Still managed to get the way through as well with that Transcendence coming out to keep them all alive on the point. Supercharger down. Just a little bit too late for Midna. KSP is cleaning up on this Tracer. This is his 4th kill of the fight, I believe.
We called him the Widow one trick, but he just showed us why that's not the case. He jumped onto Tracer. Gibb coming in with the slash and the dash. Halfbeat and Bims going down. Team UK definitively take this series 3-0.
But it's like we said earlier on, this isn't without flaws in this play. A little bit of a late dive coming through where the Winston managed to get onto the Widow, but there was no receiving Genji at the other side to deal with the Widow as she ran away. That's the kind of thing that the French team may well punish in their series later on. And it's one of those small things I like to see the UK clean up before we get to that stage.
Well, of course, this isn't the end of the series. We are going to have another map coming up shortly. And Italy, fighting their hearts out. The best performance, unfortunately, looks like they peaked on King's Row. Maybe it's just a pattern of every second map they come up with something big. And maybe the escort map might be the way they take it back and give one last final dig to the UK before they conclude their Paris group stage.
Admittedly there, the UK did have a very, very solid defense on that first point, and as we alluded to during the game itself, Italy had a very good second point defense earlier on today. If they'd have got to that stage, that could have been a much closer scenario. It turns out the UK, well, that armor we spoke about earlier on, it's not showing too many cracks. Just a few little maybe scuffs along the way, but so far it's looking pretty solid.
Yeah, I want to see what can happen on this escort map. Italy, they've been doing a lot of different changes. They've not been picking necessarily the Rialto, which would be their home turf. Much to the surprise of everyone else. We're going to bring that map up shortly for you, but maybe we might see a Gibraltar. Could see a Route 66. We saw what Germany did against France on that map, pushing them to the absolute limit in overtime. Maybe there's a pocket pick for Team Italy here. Could do the same to the UK, but we have that answer to the question. Junkertown is our final map of this series, and it is going to be that escort type. So Italy, avoiding the home turf of Rialto, maybe hoping for better luck further away from home.
Quite possibly is what they'll be shooting for. And that Route 66 game you mentioned between Germany and France, probably one of the best matches we've seen so far of this weekend. But we are onto the map, and that means double sniper is going to run rampant, at least for the UK on this first point. Not only the fact that the long sightlines on this first point play into that strength, but KSP being the Widow main we keep on speaking about, why would you not use him here at his strongest?
Would you say there's a escort map that doesn't really suit long sightlines for sniper rifles, Des?
There's maybe one or two you can pertain to where it's less prevalent. I mean, Gibraltar's generally pretty good for it as well, at least on the first point, and Hangar somewhat. They're probably the key two I look towards and think that's probably the best one you can go for. Although, to be honest with you, when you got KSP in, it's because you know that he's going to be strong across all of these maps. As we saw with the Tracer on Anubis, he can make it work.
Just concerned, because I was thinking, it's not actually a bad substitution. It is a weird system, admittedly, to have a permanent sub that comes in at the halftime. Sometimes you can be left with, well, we maybe want the specialist, but we've got to keep him in for the rest of the series. It's a big choice to make. So when you bring someone like KSP in, if you look at escort maps, at least you know most of them, you can get some Widow play out of the guy. And that's what he's known for most.
Route 66 is probably the main one I look towards, where we've seen teams mainly just playing goats on it, and they haven't really gone towards snipers. Maybe one or two teams have poured it out on the second point, definitely not on the first and third, it seems to be. This one, though, this is played right into the UK's hands, bringing KSP in at the half, and so far they've been given Anubis, one of the stronger sniper maps when it comes to assault, and when it comes to escort, well, it's playing into their hands once again.
Look where Team Italy is
Scouted.
right now. They've been spotted out straight away. That could have been big for the Italians, but they're going to play it slow, not be baited into it. Smets is actually on that Diva, going to be moving forward. Going to take that point and start moving the payload further forward. Dragon looking for the flank. KSP spotting him out. Just going to feed that information to his team as he's going aggressive with a grapple hook. But look where Italy is. They're behind the payload, and KSP is taking a position they should be holding themselves.
And they're going to completely catch them on the retreat here as well. There's no way Italy walk away. What a headshot coming out of KSP as well to bring down Halfbeat. This is the problem when you're playing 3-3 into double sniper, is you have to deal with all the range they've got. They're able to slowly chip away at your health bars, bring down crucial members, and there's not much you can do about it.
You send your demon towards KSP, grapple hooks back to his team. You've got the coerce that's online, yes, but you've already lost Halfbeat, and the payload just been stopped. Getting ultimates on the board, there's a self-destruct available for Smex, but he wants to throw at Kim. Sending that Dragon Strike through the holding fortress that Italy decided to take for themselves, but coming in from the Italian side, not going to pay many dividends. KSP, Smex, they're on cleanup duty. The Italians' first whole strategy is burning time. It's not as being successful as I think they wanted it to be.
It at least did the job of stalling them for a brief while, and Italy here should be able to get back to defend the doorway before they manage to complete this first point. But the UK had a great read on that, and I love watching the way teams deal with the opening gambit or the opening fight on any map, because you're always kind of a case of having to adapt to the comp that's being brought out or anticipate certain playstyles. The UK read it very, very well, because what they did was send Chris upstairs to drop the shield down in front of the snipers, so none of them could get hooked away by Carnifex.
Look where Boombox is. He's above the entrance. They're all coming out. Very sneaky Italy. They're going to pop that Bongo very early. And look at this, hook immediately mid them. They've got no front shield. Sound barrier coming out early. Carnifex has removed that supercharger with his whole hog, and they're pushing the rest of the UK back. Boombox left by himself. Might need to reposition. Self-destruct right on the head of mid. There was nowhere to turn. You can't look up that well, unfortunately, as Kib will take out Bims. UK have got this one under wraps. They're going to keep their road going on Junkertown.
UK did a fantastic job of playing with this solo support and not dying. Even the 3-3 came through, and they had the sound barrier come down onto Italy. Yes, they managed to drag the Rhino away, so there was no big front line, but they soaked it all up, and the only thing that managed to really connect and be brought down was the supercharger coming out of the Orisa. They didn't get a single kill onto the side of the UK, despite them only having one support and playing with an Orisa on side.
I love that Boombox is getting to do a lot of things that he played a little bit of Roadhog in Overwatch League, but now he's at the World Cup stage, and it's demanding that we have that Roadhog with him. He's now going to go, yeah, I'm going to have some fun with this one, guys. I'm going to play off a damage hero a little bit more and really make my name known.
This is the comp that we saw coming through a lot during the double sniper meta, as the kind of air quotes counter to it. You usually go for the hook and chain combo out of the Orisa and the Roadhog. You have the D.Va for the flexibility to give that defense matrix to keep everyone alive, and this is exactly what Boombox played in playoffs with the Fusion. He managed to play Roadhog a lot and get a good number of kills with it as well. So here he is, getting the chance, like you say, to shine in that and show that he's not just a support player, not that he needs to prove that to anyone.
If only Boombox could have hooked Dragon Eddie a little bit earlier, because he did manage to take out KSP. Crew's going to rectify that. Self-destruct did find Christopher. UK still getting the kills. Halfbeat, Dims, and Carnifex, their own little forward operating unit. They're going to get hooked. Damage enough is going to be able to kill Halfbeat. Doesn't pull him in any further. Going to come out the door. Carnifex looking for something more, but will be taken out by Kib. Earthshatter not finding anyone as they played around the terrain, and Boombox is going to clean up Midna to move on to the home stretch on that second checkpoint.
I feel here that Italy have got to try and mix things up, and yes, bringing out the Roadhog does mean you can get some grabs down if you can hit them. The problem is, from the UK, you've got Boombox landing grabs, you've got the double sniper coming through, and the protection coming out of the Orisa and the D.Va just means it's like trying to punch shadows. They can't catch anyone, they can't deal with these sudden attacks coming out of the darkness, and the UK are just rolling through this map. They've got 4 minutes and 10 seconds left to play with to get to the end of this map.
Dragon Strike available. They've got themselves a Valkyrie. Self-destruct for Smacks. Italy getting close to getting some ultimates of their own. Taylor's going to stay in motion for the time being, and it's a very oppressive UK. They've got 4 minutes for this final phase of the map. And I'm under no illusions about them completing this one, guys.
Yeah, they are trying to change things up a little bit here, Italy, at least. They're switching over to play on the double sniper. Problem is, the UK have been warming up for the last 5 minutes playing this exact comp, so you're going to really struggle to deal with them. Even with the dive tanks coming through, they're not able to find a way in because of the anti-dive, coming out of Orisa and out of Boombox. Well, good luck with that.
Look how aggressive the positioning is on this team. They're right in the face of the spawn as the payload hasn't even got around that first corner. They're going to start firing arrows at them, and you've got Boombox on that high ground as he has been this entire game, looking for those hooks, looking for those pickups. Dragon Eddie going to contest it. Halfbeat takes out the supercharger as they take the rest of the fight. That's a nano-boosted Midna swinging his hammer. KSP's taking out Carnifex. It's the only actual kill coming in so far. They're throwing everything at Team UK. Go for the charge. Christopher does not go golden with the Fortify, so will get charged. KSP takes out Midna while he's freed up. His attention being in that charge. The rest of the UK going to move round through, rectifying the mistake, bringing Christopher back up into the fight. UK seeming relatively unfazed by everything being thrown at them.
Even with that one kill coming through again, even with the solo support, the UK are just cushioning everything that Italy are throwing at them. They've rotated comps 2 or 3 times now. Now they're back over to the 3-3 with the Ana again for the anti-nade. They're still unable to stop them.
Christopher, he's just been stopped by an Earthshatter to the face. Carnifex going to follow up with a damage. Nice sleep dart. Take KSP out of the fight. Italy showing signs of life as they're coming out the spawn room. Kib taking out Halfbeat. Smex will get DMAX. I imagine he'll go down as well. It's not hard for a Carnifex Brigitte to shut that down. Kib's still alive. Takes out Nisa. Gets one for the return. Spawn advantage is in favor of Italy, so they will get more out of this than the UK will. Self-destruct goes up into the air, but Kib's already on the low ground. KSP taking out Bims.
KSP and Kib are just running rampant here, getting all kinds of random picks, while the rest of the team is too worried about dealing with the big tanky bodies in the front line. Literally every 5 seconds, we're seeing a new name next to KSP or Kibs in the kill feed.
Okay, Christopher is just being ridiculous right now. He's running in by himself and getting himself killed when he's trying to 2v1 Midna and Carnifex. But look at that, Crew sweeps in, gets the resurrection onto the Reinhardt, flies straight back out. KSP has not died and is still getting work done on this sniper. Graviton Surge pulling UK together for Team Italy. Self-destruct goes over the top, blocked out by Midna. KSP still got these sightlines. Kim's being a little bit more aggressive with mobility, rewarded to him by playing Hanzo. Earth Shatter thrown out. No one going to be knocked down. Bim's taking out Boombox. Halfbeat onto Cruz.
Finally, the endless war draws to an end between these two teams, just constantly going at each other. And despite the picks coming through from KSP and Kib, as said, they were only every 5 to 10 seconds or so there was no definitive team fight win for the UK, despite Italy constantly fighting at a numbers disadvantage. You can see now that the UK have gone, right, okay, we've done this for 3 minutes, it hasn't really paid off. Let's change up our ideas here, go back towards that GOATS composition and try and rush Italy off the point.
A lot of the time bank has been burned and ult charge given over to Italy. This could be quite difficult for the UK to finish with a minute remaining. You have to build up those ultimates very quickly if they want to contend with what the Italy can put out.
What they're looking for, they have got hold of the both support ultimates. They've got the self-destruct about to come online. No such luck or joy or resource available to the UK right now, but we've seen them build these ults at incredible rates so far. Here comes that first fight with an nano boost onto the right.
Nano boosting mid there, he's in range to take out KSP, and the Flame Strike will do the job. So already they put the UK on the back foot, 30 seconds remaining. They need to stop dying here, survive this onslaught and go back with a unified push. With Boombox getting the D-Mech on the Dragon Eddy. Luckily, it's going to be done there before Smex loses him. So an even playing field, but Midna getting that late kill onto Smex with the Flame Strike. 15 seconds remaining. Smex is going to be late for this fight.
Might not even get here at all in time for it. They might have to engage without him there, or at least contest the point. He has just respawned to be racing back with the rest of the team. They've got to make a move now. Christopher has got a shatter here that could literally win or lose them Junkertown.
Needs that Brigitte to come up into the face with him. KSP needs to get that stun so he can lock it off. Graviton Surge there for Harpy. He can pull them all away from the point in overtime. Just needs to be patient.
Shatter.
It's been blocked out though. No one really falling down. Graviton Surge pulling them in on the payload. Mid to go for the charge. That barrier is there, but a lot of bodies are dropping for UK. Transcendence can't cover everyone if they're so split apart. Dragon Eddy taking out Cruz, he'll be the first victim, and now the rest of Italy are rolling over UK. Smack's trying to answer, there's the Graviton Surge. Bionic Grenade is huge to sustain the rest of Italy, and it doesn't look like UK are going to be able to get a foothold in this one, because a Nano, nearly full charge Halfbeat, is there to cut through them.
A Nano full charge Zarya is not fun to deal with. 285 damage a second means that you can basically tickle most members on the enemy team, and they'll be melted in no time at all. Very, very good final defense coming through from Italy. The UK leaving it a little bit late to change up their ideas. They're swearing by double sniper when ultimately it wasn't paying off for them. And the huge anti-nade that came through at the very end from Nisa, he got that down onto both, I think it was the Zarya and the D.Va. They're two of the key targets you want to burn them. That's shielding down and defense matrix out the way. You could storm through and clear out the rest of the members. So great anti-nade from him that wasn't eaten, meant they managed to clear them off and win, or not really win, but at least prevent the UK from completing this map. Biggest problem now is they've got to stop, or the UK now have to try and stop Italy from getting to 97.84 meters. That's a pretty tall order for Italy to push the whole way through this map to near completion.
Basically have to complete at this point, Des. And you know, the most ironic thing about that double sniper composition not working out fully for the UK in that final phase was even in the final phase, the double snipers were fragging consistently and not dying. They just couldn't get the bodies on the point to contest. The spawn advantage, just too much for the Italian side to counteract it.
This is the weird thing about it, is I kind of would have liked them to switch over to play dive tanks instead, because Christopher being on the Orisa, if he gets too close, they just rush him down and kill him before the snipers can do too much damage. It was just awkward. I think if they'd gone for the Winston, maybe gone for some dives into the backline off the back of an opening pick from one of the snipers, which is how really you're meant to play it. They could have made that work out in their favor, but alas, we're speaking about the history now, Trin. Let's talk more about the present. Both sides currently hovering over playing that Orisa. The defensive side, obviously on the UK, now switching things out and putting Smex onto the Roadhog instead. Boombox back on that trusty Zenyatta.
Double sniper composition for UK, want to run it on defense like they did on offense. Italy, deciding what they want to go. Please, 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 Dragon Eddy, bless this Paris group stage with the pirate ship and put that Bastion securely on there. They're going to go for it, Des. They're walking out the point. They might get scared if they see what's happening. They're looking like they're coming out of the point of it. Des, this could be the pirate ship setting sail on Junkertown.
It's not just the pirate ship as well, it's the flexibility it gives you. You can afford to play as like a double flanker style here, where you send Carnifex on one side of the Widowmaker and send the Roadhog off somewhere else to try and get some hooks from the side. We've seen so many teams employ this strategy in Overwatch League. The UK should be prepared for it, but it's very difficult to deal with unless they can find that opening pick, which is what Smex is looking for. If they catch the Bastion here, that's huge.
He's behind him. I don't think Italy knows he's here. He's going to go for the hook. Oh, they've adapted. They've seen it. They're just going to pull up Midnight instead. Bursted down, but not killed. So they still need to get hold of that Bastion and concede this ground. Play around the terrain as Dragon Lady gets the full HP.
There's two big aspects that now play into this is who can break the Orisa shield first. Minna getting grabbed up, that was huge. This should be the win for the UK to push them all the way back. They can't compete without a shield.
The Holt hook combination is so strong. The ball and chain again onto Halfbeat, and he's killed upon landing because Smex and Kib are there for the damage, and he's got himself a Dragon Strike already.
I was going to say the two aspects of this kind of standoff these teams are having is one, the Orisa shields, two, how the hook and the ball and hook chain combo lands. You saw it in action twice there for the UK. It completely shut Italy down despite that shield being deployed. That's what you'll be looking for Italy to try and break this over. But right now, all the grabs are coming from Smex.
They're just going for that Goats composition now. They're giving up on the Bastion. Dragon Strike going to cut through multiple members. Smex doing so much work for the UK on this Roadhog. He's the top fragger on this round by far.
They're looking for it with the 3-3, and this is always the advantage the attackers have at the very start of maps, is you get the flexibility to choose what comp you want to bring out to counter the defensive side. 3-3 was their choice. Kind of a tough one, because again, with the Orisa shield, you can keep both the supports alive, you can keep the snipers alive, you've got the threat of Smex getting a crucial grab onto someone as they try and rush in. Their biggest reliance here will be an anti-nade onto someone like Smex to burn him down and start getting the man advantage to win the point over.
I've only just noticed that Smex on the Roadhog has a UK flag on his stomach. That is really cool design. They're looking for an alternative route. They're taking it to Smex. He needs healing from his team because he can't do it himself when the whole hog is active. Still going to hold this line, looking to push forward. No one's on the payload. Valkyrie being popped early by Cruz. He wants to get the advantage out there. They're going to send Harpy forward with that nano boost, 100 charge to cut through wherever they can. Bims are taking out Moonbox, but look at the Dragon Strike, cut through the path of entrance that Italy wanted to take. UK looking shaky for them, but with 1 minute 30 left, they've wiped Team Italy again.
So there's a bit of composure required when you have a 3-3 competition come running at you. It's why you see a lot of players opt to try and run this strategy in competitive plays, because not so much that it's easy, but it will roll you over if you're not prepared to deal with it. Unfortunately for the UK, well, there was no defense matrix there to eat that ultimate coming out of Kib. It wiped them off as they pushed on the high ground. Even Christopher getting himself a couple of kills as the team rushed on top of him.
1 minute remaining for Team Italy. Need to get it under this bridge, this fortified defense that the UK have built for themselves. Proving too punishing for Italy to deal with. They need to find another way to break through. They've got eyes on that sniper. Carnifex, do not peek. You will lose your head. Kib, very conscious of it, but he's KSP. He's going to deal with Midna already. Scanning out. He's moving forward.
Oh,
he's taking the fight to him. What a shot from Kib as he takes out Carnifex.
All you need from one of your snipers is to get those big crucial kills onto their snipers, and they lose all of that zone control given by the line of sight. And what better way to take it to an enemy sniper trick than to quite literally leap forward into them and get the opening kill.
He's going to have another Dragon Strike through. What could be the final fight? There's 23 seconds remaining. If Italy are going to complete this first checkpoint, they're going to have to do it in overtime. But more importantly, they're going to have to find a way to break through the UK's defenses. Dragon Strike available, payload in motion, Kib sending it straight through Midna. He's caught off from the rest of the team, already losing there. Reinhardt, and unfortunately, Harpy's going to fall to the storm arrow. Italy are falling by the wayside. Team UK send their message, and it's going to be a 4-0 leading into the final game for Team UK.
Very convincing and dominant performance. And as we said, a few scuffs in the armor at points from Team UK, but they will have to go away and look at review and think about how they're going to patch those over ahead of the game against France. But I think from what we've seen here, Trid, the story remains the same. It is so difficult to call which of those two teams will take that final series.
I think that's the way that we want it, Des. I mean, obviously we want to root and say the UK are going to absolutely demolish France, but to be honest, you ask any of the talent, we don't really know the definitive answer. We can meme about it and say, yeah, UK #1, 4, easy clap, all that. We just don't know what's going to happen. I think that's the most exciting part about this match. It's coming up to close out the Paris group stage.
And that's the beautiful thing about it, is that you know ahead of the game there's going to be this banter between the teams, having a bit of laugh. The best thing is you can make those kind of claims when you can still be made the fool if you lose, but you know that post-game there will be a lot of handshakes, there'll be a lot of well-play being exchanged between the players, because that's all we expect is a solid performance between them. But in this series, the UK, maybe a bit of a second rough map, we said at half-time, faces the players didn't look too content with their performance. But obviously with that second half show, with KSP in the roster, things look very, very good.
KSP finally waking up. Shaky Volskaya on his first day of play, but he's really fitting in with that team. Double sniper composition. Add that to the repertoire of Team UK.
This is quite scary. I thought you had an extra point.
No, I did. That was literally it. Add it to the repertoire.
Add it to the repertoire, sure. Another one on the list, another comp that we can choose to
So we got
employ.
Goats and Double Sniper.
What else we got? There's no Sombra Doom we've really seen from this. We've seen Dotes, as we call it.
What, sorry?
We've seen Dotes come out.
Dotes, yeah, it's a variation of Goats, though. But we're going to speak to Christopher on the floor with Malik. I'm sure he's got something to say.
Thank you very much, guys. I am here with Christopher. All right, man. So Team UK has already locked their spot into BlizzCon, but right now it's about getting that #1 seed. How seriously did you guys take this match, knowing that having a 4-0 would increase your chances of getting that #1?
We took the match seriously. I think we effectively had a job to do today. You know, we didn't want to use too much NAD. We didn't need to show too many strats. We just needed to play clean, consistent, and then prepare for the 4-0 later today.
Prepare for the 4-0 later today. Let's go ahead and move along to the match coming up. You're obviously saying, oh, you know what, before we do that, I would like you to translate that for the audience, because I kind of want to hear their reaction. Let's do that.
Donc Malik a demandé tout simplement, est-ce qu'ils ont vraiment pris ce match sérieusement, étant donné qu'ils avaient quand même besoin du 4-0 pour assurer la première place éventuellement s'ils battent la France. Oui, ils ont pris le match sérieusement, il fallait faire ce qu'il y avait à faire tout simplement, et apparemment ils se préparent pour le 4-0 suivant.
That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. that's, no, they weren't saying soon that time. They were definitely saying boo, I'm pretty sure. All right, that was a little bit of a hybrid of both. But anyways, Christopher, now let's look forward to that matchup against Team France. AKM came out here. He said it was going to 4-0. You guys are saying you guys are going to 4-0 France. But how are you feeling overall about this match? Like, how confident are you really about Team France? And you think you guys are going to be able to claim victory?
We've watched their games. They look pretty average. I think if we mirror the same comps, they don't stand a chance against us.
All right, that's rough. That's rough.
Go ahead, man. You gotta tell them.
Donc, ils sont complètement à leur portée, si on doit synthétiser un petit peu, ils sont complètement à leur portée. S'ils continuent à jouer les mêmes compositions, ça risque d'être assez facile puisqu'ils sont de niveau très moyen.
Right on cue. Right on cue. Well, Christopher, I'm pretty sure you want to wind down a little bit and get ready for your matchup later on today. So thank you very much for your time. And guys, we're going to go ahead and break down everything that we just saw here on the stage right now with our casters.
Thank you very much, Malik, and of course, thank you, Christopher, for being the voice of reason within the UK. Absolutely love that the French crowd did not miss a beat. That is exactly what we wanted to hear.
Oh, I could almost be in tears. You can listen to this guy talk all day because every single answer is just laden with the UK banter behind it. And as said, you lay it all out before the series so that if you do lose, you're made to be the four, but afterwards it's all about shaking hands and saying game well played. But confidence, I think, coming into that final series is going to be key for both sides, especially for the UK when you consider that the French team have the France crowd behind them. The UK, all they've got to go on is a little bit of banter, a little bit of confidence in this final series.
Christopher can talk the talk. Let's see if he can walk the walk as we have a look at these stats from the previous series.
Damage blocked as well. Woo. Well, a lot being blocked up basically there. 11 deaths across the whole thing. Definitely more of a team player there as well. Not too many final blows on side. He was enabling his team, and that's exactly what you want a tank to do. And let's not forget, the whole of the last map, he was on Orisa. Not really the most frag-heavy hero that you'll see in Overwatch. He
switched over to Reinhardt, and I still can't get over that play where he walked into the 2v1. Honestly, he's clumsier than a greasy octopus trying to unopen a jar. It's just like, I don't know what he was trying to do there. It's just throwing meat at Italy.
It's like, come on, guys, you want me? There's a free ult charge here if you want it. Come get it. As long as he doesn't play like that against France, then I think we'll be happy.
If he doesn't do anything where he tries to 2v1 and beat Reinhardt against France, I think we'll be fine. You bots, stop it.
Christopher Bot.
Yeah.
Can you just imagine that scene in the game, just Christopher Bot running around, just like swinging his hammer away?
Maybe, I might make that my Smurf name, see if I can fit it in there. Problem is, he'll never see it though. But to tell you something we will see, we're going to have a look at the fan polls by T-Mobile. Let's find out what you guys have been saying about that series. The best part about the UK versus Italy match has been Dragon Eddie spamming nice try the entire time, and whatever you would call that emoji face.
The crying face. I think it's a joy face, I believe.
Joy face?
Joy face is what it's down to when you actually type it out. But Jake was saying earlier on that a lot of the spams you get in between games can get so annoying. It's like we said earlier on, any small edge you can get, even if it's spamming emotes, you'll take it.
I'm a big fan of Winston and going natural selection when you get a kill. It really does add salt to the room. Let's fire up another tweet from you guys. KSP's Widow positioning really is something else. Dude's going to be an absolute game changer one day. I cannot agree more, Dan, in the World Cup. I cannot agree more.
Takes a bit of time for him to warm up, but once he does warm up, you can see why everyone is excited about this guy. 4 months ago, Open Division. Now we're here at the top in the World Cup, and now he's looking towards the Overwatch League as his next step. Guy's looking fantastic. What more can you say?
Well, let's fire up. We've heard, apparently, we get 3 tweets this time, Des.
Aren't we
Apparently, we got a
blessed?
third. Don't leave me hanging, production. What have you got for me? Awesome to see so much synergy in the teams at the hashtag OWWC 2018. And that is the hashtag you need to be using if you also want to be on the T-Mobile Fan Pulse.
Absolutely, and on the point there, the team synergy, you're absolutely right. And don't forget, a lot of these players will have other commitments. They'll be playing on other teams and things like Contenders or for Team France, Overwatch League. The fact that we've seen teams really come together and execute GOATs and other competitions well is just a testament to how much work these guys are sinking into the game every single day.
Let's have a look at some of the highlights from that series. Refresh your memory. Leading in, having a look at some of the highlights. Beautiful use of the environment on Ilios. That was a common trend for the UK.
And it seems to be the whole story of Ilios for these guys. And a lot of European teams tend to shy away from Ilios, like, too many environmentals there, can't run GOATs, don't really want to play it too much. United Kingdom took it in their stride and just played dive tanks the whole time, which makes it a lot easier to play around that. And almost a boot from Cruz there. The Wrecking Ball getting that final little lance away, keeps themselves safe.
Kings Row. It was the most resistance we've seen out the Italian side, forcing a second attempt from Team UK. Can't affect, not to be outdone by the UK's use of environmental kills, taking Christopher off the map. Here's going to be a nice bomb coming in from Dragon Eddie over the top, finding a double kill on the Christopher and Cruz. Two most vocal guys on Team UK, by the way.
You're not wrong, it was definitely their strongest map. I mean, with that third point push with the Graviton Surge, where they held all 6 members off the point and just pushed it to completion, they could have stood there and just spammed the wave emote the whole time to say, see you later, guys, we're going to complete the map now, and they couldn't do a thing about it. You saw when it came around to the overtime, though, the UK just amassed those 6 ultimates and went for the big push. And to be honest with you, a defensive masterclass was shown by the UK when it came to Anubis.
I think it was a Widow masterclass by KSP. The amount of headshots that guy was getting on this map was unreal. I love that we're seeing a little bit more Wrecking Ball coming out from the UK. Obviously, they did their Dotes early on Ilios, but we also saw Smax playing it on Temple of Anubis.
And I was very concerned, I won't lie, I said it earlier on with KSP after his first performance on Volsky, that we wouldn't see the guy really hit the peaks that we've all seen him achieve in European Contenders. And he's been showing it across these maps. Boombox even getting his chance to shine in the frag stats with a fantastic performance on Roadhog.
I absolutely love our observers when they give us stuff like that. That is liquid Overwatch. Heartbeat being pulled in by Smax, even having a try at the Roadhog. After a great Hog performance in Kib. Oh, it's beautiful from Kib, taking the fight right over to the Widowmaker.
The kind of stuff we love to see in the UK, so spontaneous headshots, and Kib is delivering in spades. Now the big question is, can he and the rest of the UK team deliver on the big stage against France at the end of the day?
Stakes have been set for that matchup. Up next, we are going to have Poland versus the Netherlands, which of course, it's battle of pride for these guys. Both of them can't go to BlizzCon. I don't think either of them are looking at last place either, so it's all about that final finish. We just want to tease you guys a little bit more as well before we get you to the match that everyone's been waiting for. But Poland-Netherlands should be a good series coming up next.
I'm looking forward to it because Darnier's been the guy on everyone's lips this weekend as one of the standout players across all teams, not just Poland. You're coming up against the Netherlands, who after day 1 and 2, a few of us were saying these guys could potentially bring the UK down. Turn into a 4-0 in the end, but it does mean that we're set up for a pretty great series.
Well, great series on the horizon. Before we get to there, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll bring you Netherlands versus Poland.